All right, welcome ladies. So we are jumping on because I wanted to talk to some clients of mine. I have here today that we went through some work together as well as the preconception plan, and they're going to share a little bit of their story. They have a lot of inspiration and success, and as you can see, a little baby boy here as well. So we're just going to chat with them today. If you have any questions and you're on live, you can put it in the comments. But otherwise, Heather, Reed, welcome.
Hi.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yourselves and your little boy.
This is Becker.
Yeah, this is baby Becker. He's the most interesting. He's about 5 months. I'm Heather.
I'm Reed.
Yeah. And we worked with Crystal. I started working with Crystal. Oh gosh, Crystal, I don't know. It was like 2012 maybe.
It was a while ago.
It was a long time ago. I got really bad migraines and they were pretty incapacitating. So we worked together on a nutritional level back then, and she was super helpful. And then we started, I think important to note, I had really low cortisol as part of our journey with migraines. And so I remembered that something that we had talked about was like, if you don't get your cortisol levels back up, it can be hard to have babies. And so that kind of just was something that stuck with me. And when we started talking about having kids, I reached out to Crystal and was like, hey, I want to get ready. Like I want to be prepared. And so we started kind of just talking, and it was great timing. Crystal started the preconception plan. And so I was like, okay, let's do it. Let's jump in. And I think we were a little nervous because we were like a couple steps early, like we hadn't started trying, but we knew we were going to, and it felt like kind of far away, but also this thing that was like going to be so huge and life-changing. So that's kind of when we jumped in and started working with you and your awesome plan.
Yeah, you were one of like literally the very first ones to go through the program. And so, yeah, you had some concerns with your health before, and that got you thinking about, we were always pretty open about talking about when you wanted to prepare to have a baby. Yeah. So when did what did you think, or when did you start to connect that your health might influence your fertility, or, some of that impact?
Oh, I mean, I think when we met in 2012, that was the first time, because, I was like invincible. I was 25 and like thought my body was going to be fine, and then started getting all these migraines. And so I think that was a switch for me back then. But I had kind of like put children off. And so I think as that day started coming closer, and my body, like my migraines went away, but there were a lot of things that I think never fully kind of recovered. And so it was this kind of thought for me of like, wow, I should really take this seriously, because pregnancy is a lot on your body, and it's making a baby is no joke. And we have a lot of friends that it's just been really difficult for, and we watch them go through lots of miscarriages. And I think I had a lot of anxiety that would be our story. And so we just kind of were like, hey, let's just start with our best foot forward and try to do something really proactive and get in front of all these things, rather than like go through a lot of really hard things and then have to use this as a last ditch resort before we tried, other things. So I think that was kind of our proactive approach, and I'm so glad we did it. Yeah, I don't know. It was awesome.
Yeah. So, when we're talking about, this is sometimes viewed alternative, right? Like using nutrition and figuring out what could be affecting you. Did you have any concerns, like going outside of kind of the conventional approach, or, just start trying? Did you have any fears or concerns around that?
That's a good question.
That's a great question.
No, I don't think so. I think for us, it was kind of like this is a great place to start. Because I think it's all the like Western medicine things we can do are really helpful, but often they don't treat the symptoms. And so for me, wanting to kind of get behind all of that stuff and do all the things that I can personally do before I needed, a doctor to tell me that there was something wrong with my eggs, or, like I wanted to like do everything I could personally do to make my body as ready to go as possible. So that was kind of just like, that's how I think of nutrition, is it's like my personal toolkit of health. And I don't know if that's right or not, but
there's no right or wrong.
Yeah, I don't think we had any qualms about jumping in, especially because we worked together before, and I just I'd seen firsthand the benefits it could make on my personal life before going into something like having a baby. So we were totally believers. And I know there's so much like just personal lifestyle changes that you're in control of that are really hard to do on your own. Like I'm a person who needs a coach. And so that was really helpful to me.
Yeah. Yeah. So it made it easier, you think, having like the accountability, or what do you think, what pieces made it a lot easier for you to make?
Yeah, the accountability, and also like the tiered, like the way that, you know, the program kind of takes you 1 week at a time. I think that that's helpful. So you learn something new. It's like totally digestible. You've got pieces that you can just kind of jump in. Okay, this week I'm doing this. This week I'm doing this. And you're focusing on sleeping or eating or stress, you know, like those little kind of bite-sized pieces to build onto a big picture. Because I think I knew a lot of the things that I needed to change, but it's so overwhelming to do it all at once. And so that kind of coaching level was really good. And then the reminder of like how these things really affect your baby and your body, and just taking those on and being able to kind of sit with them for a while and then make changes. That was really helpful.
Yeah. To add to that, I think in that sense, like, I think we had a real clear idea of, okay, here's our lifestyle now, you know, fill in the blanks of like, we're eating mac and cheese or whatever, and we're drinking beer and whiskey. And like, I know that when Heather's trying to make a baby, we're trying to make a baby, ideally, none of those things exist in our diet and life. And like also work stress, I think we'll talk about that in a minute or two. Like all these things, like we need to get from here to here for it to go the way that we'd really like it to go. But to just like flip a switch and make those changes it all seemed possible. So to just have like an A to Z kind of laid out, like, okay, this week we're talking about stress. This week we're talking about, you know, the effect of your diet on your fertility. It was super helpful to just pace it out and make it digestible.
I think that's important, because I know a lot of couples and women, like you get in this place of like overwhelm, like information paralysis, right? Where there's so much information out there. You could Google for 12 hours, but you often end up doing nothing because you're just like, there's so much I could do. I don't even know what to do.
Yeah, totally. I like the like marathon metaphor of like, it kind of felt like, okay, the baby, having the baby is like going to be the marathon, and I want to complete the marathon. But if you just think about trying to run, you know, all those miles all at once, it's super overwhelming. But if you just run 1 mile, you know, and then run 2 miles, you know, and so that's kind of how it felt. And we took a long time. Like we did your program in 12 weeks. And then I think we took longer to just kind of like sit with it, get emotionally ready, I think. And we took probably another, I don't know, 3 or 4 months. And then we're like, okay, it's time, let's do it. And that was just like, you got us mentally ready to enter into it as well as physically ready.
Yeah. So do you feel like you felt more confident when you started trying, and felt more confident of, you know, no matter how things went, that you were feeling maybe more empowered?
Yeah, I think there was like a lot of confidence in just feeling good about trying to do it and knowing that we had done everything we could. And so, you know, I didn't enter into like fear of miscarriages or fear of having, I think we were just ready for whatever the journey would be. And we knew we had done everything we could do to prepare ourselves for that. So
awesome. And Reed, it's great having you here, because we don't always see the husbands, the partners. And so, you know, what are maybe some of your biggest takeaways, either how you think it affected Heather or even yourself, your relationship together?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that there were a couple big things in that space. And I think one of the biggest ones was just entering into it on the same page, and like knowing I think having a lot more details around the toll it could take on Heather's body, and just like the importance of all the different things that we had learned. I think if Heather had learned those in a vacuum and then been like, okay, here's our diet change and stop drinking and you know, and all these things, it would have been a much tougher sell. But because we'd gone through the education and conversations together the whole way, and then sat with it for a while, we were very much on the same page coming into it. And I think that was invaluable. And I think the other thing, just for me, and this is more personal than just fertility stuff, but like, I think leading up to trying to make a baby, I think I saw, and I think Heather saw through the process of working with you through the preconception plan, that her work stress was really high, and that she was just a go, 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 like super high achieving, and like always had to be checking off things and like doing things all the time, and like didn't have a lot of like space to step back from that. And I think just learning that, like, hey, that's gonna make being a mom hard, and that's gonna make making a baby hard, kind of to extremely oversimplify it, was really valuable for both of us to just like make some healthy lifestyle and work-life balance changes there. And I think that served our marriage really well. And I think that obviously served the next phase of life really well too. So for me, those were huge blessings that we got from it. Not to mention being healthier along the way, making healthier choices. And I think we eat a whole lot better now.
Oh my gosh.
Than we used to. And I think we just feel a lot better too. I think we feel better. I don't get sick as much. So a lot of little extra ancillary benefits for the partner. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. And you guys, like you said, you're go-getters, but like you made the decision and you had a goal and you started doing it. You didn't know exactly what the process would look like necessarily, but you committed to your goal. And that's really inspiring.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Do you guys have any other things you want to add?
No, just that people should totally do it and work with you. They should jump. If they're nervous, they should just do it. They won't regret it. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for sharing and chatting with me.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
It was a pleasure.
Your family in person one of these days too.
Yeah, I know. Get our kids together.
Soon enough.
Yeah. All right. Have a good one.
Thanks. Bye.